Hey everybody, Justin here. Surprise, I'm back for another video. Today I am going to be discussing the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle. Now, the reason I decided to do this is because you may remember in my video Wednesday on the mystery of Amelia Earhart, I referenced and discussed the Bermuda Triangle briefly. Well, it's only fitting that the two are tied, and it's only fitting that I talk a little bit more about the Bermuda Triangle. So with that being said, I will discuss the theories. There's 8 of them. Yep, you haven't seen this many theories since, what was it, Flight 19? Something like that, right? Where I had a bunch of theories. There's 8 theories as to, 8 theories or logical explanations as to what the Bermuda Triangle is. And let me just tell you, I'm very vocal and opinionated on this one. Some of them are just ridiculous. First, in a nutshell, what is the Bermuda Triangle? Well, it is a space between Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda. If you look on your maps or your globes, do people still have globes anymore? Anywho, if you look, you'll see it. It's a triangle. Florida, Puerto Rico, Bermuda, back up to Florida. It's a triangle. So the space itself, they consider a triangle. But like geologically over the last 40 plus years, it's not so much a triangle anymore as it's like an amorphous blob. I don't know, I watched a show once and they showed it. It didn't look like a triangle at all anymore. But I guess the region itself, triangle shaped. So yeah, it's a space between Florida, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda in which ships and aircrafts disappear under mysterious circumstances. That's pretty much what the Bermuda Triangle is in a nutshell, aka the Devil's Triangle. So, the first thing, does the Bermuda Triangle exist? I believe it does. Because if you know me, you know I'm into conspiracies like that. And I believe the Bermuda Triangle exists. Anytime there's a show on about it, I'm watching it. So here are 8 theories. Now I'm going to do it the same way I always do it. I'm going to list all 8, and then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to explain. I did this over on Twitter, so, yeah. Alright. Number of missing aircrafts and ships is no different than any other part of the ocean. Just a regular storm / violent weather. Inaccurate reports. Nothing mysterious. Not in the top 10 of the most dangerous waters. Paranormal / supernatural. UFOs. Magnetic anomalies. And human error. Alright, now I'm going to discuss all these. Not so much whether or not I think do I think that it explains them and, shoot them down is no. Alright, the number of missing aircrafts and ships is no different than any other part of the ocean. Okay, what are you saying? They're saying there's been a report that suggests that the disappearances that occur in the Bermuda Triangle are no different than any other part of the ocean. Okay, but the ships and planes that go missing in the other parts of the ocean, were they found? Are they still missing? Because to me, okay, apples and oranges here. Oh, there's 10 people went missing in the Bermuda Triangle and 10 people went missing outside of it. Okay, well, how many of those 10 outside the triangle were actually found? To me, that's more important. I get what they're saying, oh, it's not a triangle, it's not anything. It's no different than any other part of the ocean or any other ocean. Okay, but there's got to be a reason that the Bermuda Triangle is pulling in people. Whereas, what's the reason for people outside of the triangle going missing? You see what I mean? This to me just, it's irrelevant. I don't care that just as many people go missing outside of the triangle as they do inside of it. I want to know the other, facts, statistics. Are those people outside of the triangle still missing? How are they going missing? So yeah, like, that one just, to me, it's irrelevant. Just a regular storm slash violent weather. So you're suggesting that the Bermuda Triangle is just a regular storm, violent weather. No, it's kind of an add-on, if anything. Like, if you're in the triangle, and there's a violent storm that day, naturally the storm's probably going to get that ship or aircraft. It's just going to happen. To me, I don't think whoever came up with this theory really thought it through. The Bermuda Triangle is not a 24/7 regular storm. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a storm, but just not how we know storms, I guess. It's a silent storm. I don't know. I feel like I'm going off because they're referring to it as like a storm, like a constant storm. We don't have. It's not a 24-hour storm, 24/7 storm. That's not what this is. Violent weather. Yeah, okay. That probably does explain like why a lot of ships go down, treacherous waters and stuff. It explains why some of the ships go haywire because storms. Okay, but it's not. That's not the definition of what the Bermuda Triangle is. It's not one big giant 24/7 violent storm. Inaccurate report / nothing mysterious. I hate this one. I really do. Inaccurate reports. This is implying that, people didn't go missing. It's just when people had to file a missing persons report and report on the aircrafts that they just went missing. And it was an inaccurate report. Like, the people didn't get their facts right. There's nothing mysterious about it. Okay, so Amelia Earhart's been missing for 70 years, but we don't know what happened to her, but that's just an inaccurate report, right? Yeah, it's inaccurate in the sense that you never completed it, and she's been missing for 70 years, and we still have no idea what happened to her. So is Flight 19 an inaccurate report too? They've been missing for 70 years, haven't found them. So the guy that did the report, that was inaccurate, they didn't go missing. The Carol S. Deering was a ship, that also went missing. There was at least several other notable aircrafts and ships that went missing. I just didn't take the time to write them down. But there have been several, reports of aircrafts that have gone missing in the Bermuda Triangle, never to be heard from again. You mean to tell me they're all inaccurate reports because people just failed to do their jobs? What? Like, to me, it would be inaccurate. It would be the opposite of what they're implying. They're implying that the people didn't go missing, or if they did go missing, that the report on what happened is far-fetched. Like, Amelia Earhart didn't go missing. Like, maybe she's just here or there. Or Flight 19, like, the patterns that they were told to go towards Cuba. And supposedly they were in Puerto Rico. But that's inaccurate because they were told to go to Puerto Rico. Like, no, stop trying to spin it. If anything's inaccurate, if there's an inaccurate report here, it's the opposite. It's the fact that they're still missing and we don't know what happened. It's called, you didn't do your job, you didn't look thoroughly into it, or you did, and of course there's going to be missing reports, of course there's going to be inaccurate statements and evidence. Because you can only look into something such as this so many times. So that one, no. It's not in the top 10 of the most dangerous waters. Okay? Okay, like, what is this proving? Like, it's suggesting, like, the water isn't the most dangerous. Like, the part of the water in the Atlantic Ocean is not the most dangerous waters. But it's the Bermuda Triangle. Well, yeah, but, like, in what way are we looking at water? Water in the sense of shark attacks? People going missing? Like, I don't really see the connection here. Like, just because it's not in the top 10 of the most dangerous waters doesn't mean it's not dangerous. Like, if somebody said to me, do you want to go to Bermuda tomorrow? I'd probably say no, because, well, first of all, they caught me off guard. 2, why do I want to go to Bermuda right now? And 3, no, because we have to go into the triangle. No. Paranormal / supernatural. Paranormal, I'm going to say no immediately, because that would suggest spirits and ghosts. And I don't think there's ghosts in the Bermuda Triangle. Supernatural, on the other hand, I'm referring to supernatural. I'm defining supernatural as unexplained, unknown, occurrences. Yes, supernatural is certainly possible here. You could put violent storms under supernatural. So supernatural, totally possible because we can't explain what it is. And by the way, the one theory that's not on here is what I think every video. The last theory is what I think the Bermuda Triangle is, because I do believe the triangle exists. Spoiler alert. Alright, UFOs. I believe in UFOs. I believe in the Bermuda Triangle. The problem is convincing someone who doesn't believe in either. And if you don't believe that either exists, then certainly just don't. Just tune me out right now, really. I like UFOs just as much as the next person, but to suggest that there's little green men, aliens, flying UFOs, flying saucers, in the Bermuda Triangle, and that's why people went missing, it's a very far-fetched thought. I'm not completely going to dismiss it, despite my look away and sigh of no. It's just, compared to, okay, I'll say this. 1, 2, 3, but compared to the other 5, it's probably the most outrageous so far. Do I think that UFOs have been in the Bermuda Triangle and have been perhaps part of the reason that some ships and aircrafts have gone missing? Perhaps they have. I wouldn't say that the Bermuda Triangle is not a UFO. But I would say that you could add it on. It's another add-on. It could account for it. Like, I don't think they got beamed up and abducted, but I think maybe one of the ships or airplanes saw a UFO that they couldn't explain, that wasn't supposed to be there, and it caused their demise. So yeah, in a way, they'd be part of the Bermuda Triangle, but they're not the definition of it. And it's a little far-fetched, so no. Magnetic anomalies. I love this one. Magnetic anomalies would explain a hell of a lot. So a magnetic anomaly, basically, when airplanes are in the air and their compasses go haywire, or a ship and, the navigation's all wiry and messed up, magnetic anomaly. To me, this makes the most logical sense, because I think that there's a magnetic anomaly inside the ocean that, well, obviously we can't see it because it's an anomaly. And I think that when magnetic anomalies occur, it would explain Flight 19. When the pilot said that he thought they were going in circles or something, or he remembers a certain trajectory that they were going, and the base was like, "What are you talking about? You're not supposed to be there." He probably got a magnetic anomaly on his compass, which made his compass go haywire, and before they knew it, they were out where they weren't supposed to be, and then whatever the hell else happened to them. So I think a magnetic anomaly explains a hell of a lot. I think that one's totally possible. It would also explain why ships go off course, off their chosen path. And the last one, human error. I hate this one. I hate it. I hate this one so much, because you know what? Human error does explain the Bermuda Triangle, but it's not the definition of it. If anything, the human error is the biggest add-on to all of these. The number of missing aircrafts and ships is no different than any other part of the ocean. And human error. Just a regular storm / violent weather. And human error. Inaccurate reports, nothing mysterious. And human error. Not in the top 10 of dangerous waters, but perhaps human error. Paranormal / supernatural, or human error. UFOs, human error. Magnetic anomalies. See now? Do you see the tie-in now? Magnetic anomalies occur, which would cause what? Human error. Because if the person's looking at their compass, it's telling them to go one way when they don't know where they are. So yeah, the human is making an error in the sense that, yeah, they're making an error, but they're only going based off of what they're seeing. So as far as they know, they're going the right way because they're looking down at their compass. Oh, gee, look at, my compass is pointing north. That must be right, because why would my compass lie to me? So is it the compass's error, or is it the humans? Like, to me, this is the biggest pile of bull on the list, okay? I'm gonna just come out and say it. Like, out of all 8 of them, even the UFO, I think human error is the biggest pile of bullshit on this list. Like, the Bermuda Triangle doesn't exist because of human error. Like, oh, okay, Amelia Earhart messed up so much that the reason she went missing is because of her own error. Okay, maybe, obviously, but there's got to be some other factors in there. You can't say that's number one. Like, oh, Flight 19 went missing, the Carol S. Deering went missing because human error. Obviously, people make mistakes, people make errors in the oceans and in the air, but what? That's not the number one reason. Like, to me, there's something more supernatural, something unexplained, a mystery about the Bermuda Triangle. It's not just human error. So what is the Bermuda Triangle? Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a vortex. Is it a vortex to another dimension? No. I'm going to stop you there. No, I do not believe that the Bermuda Triangle will lead to another dimension, although that thought is kind of cool. You know, Amelia Earhart, Flight 19, Carol S. Deering, all the other people that have gone missing are in another dimension, sitting at a table playing poker. That would be pretty cool. But let's get back to reality, shall we? The Bermuda Triangle is a vortex. Where does it lead? I don't know. It could lead somewhere, it could lead absolutely nowhere. It could lead to the bottom of the ocean, or, here's a thought, consider the air, the open air, above the Bermuda Triangle, within the Bermuda Triangle, as fabric. And there's a cut in that fabric, but we can't see it. But planes and aircraft's navigation systems can. Hence the reason, magnetic anomalies. This is why they would occur. Because when a ship or a plane is in the Bermuda Triangle, the person that's operating that vehicle cannot see it. But there is a hole in the fabric that is air. In the water, there's a hole there, but we cannot see it with our human eyes. But navigation can see it. And that's why compasses go haywire. So just imagine, you're in a plane, and you're about to enter the Bermuda Triangle. There's a nice split right down the middle. There's a nice hole in the air. Like, you could almost peel it off, and there's a hole there. But you can't see it. But your navigation does see it, so your compass sees it. So now your compass is telling you to go north, because you don't see that. So as far as you know, like, you look down at your coordination plans, and you're like, it says I was supposed to go west, but my compass is telling me north. But, why would my compass lie to me? Maybe it's a little funky, but I'm going to go north. I'm going to listen to it, because why wouldn't you listen to your compass if that's all you have to navigate out in the middle of nowhere? So you go north, then you go east, then you go west, and then before you know it, people are lost. That's how people get lost in the Bermuda Triangle, because the Bermuda Triangle, there's a hole. It's considered like the fabric. It's a piece of fabric, and there's a hole. We can't see it, but your navigation does see it. Now, does that explain everything? I think it does. It explains why people get lost, never to be heard from ever again. So what do you think first of all, do you think the Bermuda Triangle exists? And what do you think it is? What do you think of my theories? Do you also agree that human error is the biggest pile of bullshit on this list that you've ever heard to explain the Bermuda Triangle? People make so many, oh God, I just can't. But yeah, do you think the Bermuda Triangle exists? Do you not believe that it exists? What do you think about my 8 theories? You can always let me know in a comment or a direct message. Love to hear from you. And when I say you, I mean anybody watching this on the playback. So yeah, that's been my mystery for the day. I'm probably not going to be back over the weekend because that would be 3 videos and that would be crazy. Imagine if I did a 3rd video. Do stay tuned though, because Wednesday, of course, is the last day of September. So in October, I'm going to start doing a lot more horror. Of course, I'm going to start doing horror, unsolved mystery type things. Just to name drop a few, I'm going to be talking about Jack the Ripper and Edgar Allan Poe. So stay tuned for those. But Wednesday is the last day of the month, so September 30th to 31st. I don't know my days good enough anymore. Perhaps I will do one more conspiracy theory mystery before I get into the horror ones. Actually, you know what? I have a really juicy one for you next Wednesday. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this. In fact, I want people... I'm just going to come out... I didn't say this over on Twitter. Okay? So if you're watching this in the playback, I want you here at 4:30... Well, actually, you know what? Scratch that. I'm not sure what time I'm going to do it. But I want you on here when I go on live next Wednesday. Because I am going to do a really interesting mystery. You're not going to want to miss it. But I'm going to leave it at that. And until next week, au revoir.